This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. The MPO Policy Board for Thursday, August the 8th, 2024. And the first thing we'll do is conduct a roll call. Aaron Easter.
Present.
Tom Murtaugh.
Present.
Harry Schroeder.
Present.
Stephen Snyder.
Present.
Larry Leverance.
Present.
Cindy Murray.
Here.
And Deb Calder.
Here.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We have a quorum present. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from the previous meeting. Those have been communicated to you in your packet, and I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Murtaugh.
Second. Steve Snyder, second.
And thank you, gentlemen. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or corrections? Hearing none, we'll conduct a roll call vote on the approval of the minutes. Aaron Easter.
Aye.
Tom Murtaugh.
Aye.
Gary Schroeder.
Aye.
Stephen Snyder.
Aye.
Larry Leverance.
Aye.
Cindy Murray.
Aye.
And Deb Calder.
Aye.
The minutes are approved as communicated. Thank you, everyone. The next item on the agenda is Resolution T24-12, a resolution to adopt the Tippecanoe County Safe Streets for All Safety Action Plan. And Tim will be doing that presentation.
Yes, thank you, everyone. So I know we've talked about this several times before, but just to kind of reorient us again, really the main purpose of putting this plan in place is so that we can ultimately apply for some federal grant funding to attempt to get a transportation safety project going here in Tippecanoe County. And so because of that, there are certain criteria that a safety action plan has to meet, and we didn't have a plan that would qualify for that. So we put out an RFP, hired a consultant, went through the whole process of putting this together, and came up with a plan. The plan has been posted online for about a month now. We have received a few comments about it, which are mostly positive. And we did bring this to the Technical Transportation Committee at their meeting last month, and they did recommend adoption of this as the official county plan. So I would like to bring that before the board today for their consideration. And at this time, I would pause, and if there are any questions about this, I know I kind of went through that pretty quickly, but please feel free to ask.
Tim, this is Larry Leverance. One of the things that seems to be missing in this is any kind of comprehensive look at the area around Purdue and the university itself. Is that intentional, or I won't say it's an oversight, but it just seems to be a missing component there.
Yeah, can you clarify your question a little bit, Larry? Are you asking about a specific analysis of dangerous areas around the campus and what that might entail? Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Sure. So yes, part of this is that we are doing this plan for the whole county. The city of West Lafayette is actually in the process of going through their own RFP to do a deeper dive within West Lafayette's area, and obviously that would include, I'm sure, a pretty extensive analysis of the campus and surrounding area. The reason why that wasn't included as much in the county plan is that it has a very big emphasis on areas that are considered lower income by the Census Bureau. And because of how they count that, there aren't as many in West Lafayette as there are in Lafayette. So just for the purposes of trying to match the criteria for eventual funding, a lot of the work within the county plan was a little more focused on those disadvantaged census tracts, which again are mostly in Lafayette. And that is, again, per the Census Bureau's definition, not per our definition.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions from anyone?
All right, hearing no other questions. Thank you, Tim, for that clarification. Larry, thank you for your question. Hearing no other questions, we'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of the resolution. Aaron Easter,
Aye.
Tom Murtaugh,
Aye.
Gary Schroeder,
Aye.
Stephen Snyder,
Aye.
Larry Leverance,
Aye.
Cindy Murray,
Aye.
Deb Calder.
Aye.
Resolution is approved. Thank you, everyone. The next item on the agenda is the APC progress report. We have several items under that MPO update, and the first one is the 5-year crash report. And Aria, I think you're doing that one.
Yep, that's right. Tim, do you mind if I take the screen here?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. It'll probably just be easier for me to share here myself. All right. Okay, so Area Plan Commission creates a crash report about crashes in the county. This is the most recent one. We've done a 5-year overview. This time, 2018 to 2022 was the reporting period. And this is all crashes in the county. So property crashes, injury crashes, fatality crashes. The only crashes that aren't covered in the report, at least not really in any depth, are private property crashes. So if crashes occurred in parking lots or in alleyways or in people's driveways, we didn't include those kinds of crashes for this. This is just for infrastructure that the county can interact with. It's a very large report. It's, I think, going on 100 pages just about, so I won't go over everything, but I will point out some sections. So I have an executive summary that kind of summarizes the whole report that you might find useful. It kind of talks about the most common types of each kind of crash. So like following too closely, failure to yield right of way were common crash types. When crashes occurred during peak travel hours at the morning rush and the afternoon rush, before and after work. Talks about injury and fatality crashes and things that y'all are probably most interested in, like intersections and corridors, where those have a lot of crashes. And I could spend a lot of time talking about this report, but I won't. It's on our website, the area plan website, under transportation and then crashes. If you want to read the full thing, but I'll just point out, some of our highest volume crashes in the county, like Creasy Lane and South Street, 291 crashes over the 5-year period. River Road and Tapawingo Drive, State Street and Tapawingo, State Road 43. And this report, it goes into some good detail. Like, for example, these high crash volume intersections, Creasy Lane and South Street, we all know that that's a problem. But River Road and Tapawingo Drive, for example, those are like, 2 and 3, the 2 Tapawingo Drive roundabouts. But later in the report, let's see, intersections. I think here. yeah, here's that most crashes. So yeah, you can see the ranking of which intersections have the most crashes. If we check out the fatalities and injuries, however,
Hey, Ariel, question for you. I'm not sure, I'm not seeing anything on my screen if you're presenting a document.
my screen's not being shared.
Not for me. Anyone else?
Yeah, I can see her screen.
I can too.
So can I.
Maybe a problem on my part.
I cannot see it.
I can't either.
Let me unshare and reshare. Maybe that'll fix it for you here. Other than that, there's not anything I can really do on my end, unfortunately. Let's see. Share. Okay.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Hooray! All right. Problem solved. Where was I? Yes. So number of like fatality crashes and stuff. If we look at the injury and fatality crashes, you know, River Road and Tapwango Drive has way fewer of those than a lot of other intersections. So even though it has a high number of total intersections or crashes, the actual injury and fatality rate at those roundabouts is extremely low, which indicates that they're pretty safe. So we've got a lot of analysis. There's tons and tons of tables in here. I did some, not just like crash information, but some information about like what it costs the county in terms of crashes, in terms of, you know, injuries and repairs, you know, the cost of people being injured. Yeah, the total value of preventing all fatalities would be, you know, $700 million if we could stop all fatalities over the 5-year period. Motorcycle crashes. There's so much in here. Did some demographic data, information about vehicle makes and models. There's a lot in here. I just recommend, you know, going through the report, looking at the table of contents and seeing if anything kind of interests you. I guess any questions overall?
All right, anybody have any questions? Certainly want to thank everyone for all their hard work on that. That information is very helpful. We certainly use it here at the City of Lafayette, and so thank you for your hard work. And I'd encourage everyone to get a moment to kind of look through at least at some of the highlights of it. There is some pretty interesting information and useful information. All right, with that, we'll go on to the Sagamore Safety Forum, and Doug will be handling that.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is an interesting project that we're at the very beginning of. And as you may or may not know, in West Lafayette and partially in Tippecanoe County along Sagamore Parkway, especially in the area east of Myers and Menards, there are a number of student apartment complexes that are that have been there for a while, that are fairly new and are under construction, and we're just seeing a large growth in housing for students in this corridor. What we've also noted in this corridor is that there are a number of both pedestrian and bicycle crashes along Sagamore Parkway. And in addition to that, looking at the road itself, there are no facilities to let pedestrians and cyclists either travel along the road or cross the road. So we thought that it would be prudent to start having a discussion with a number of stakeholders in looking at this area, the growth, the number of students, the businesses, and then start focusing on how we can turn this corridor into one that is safer for Purdue students, but pedestrians and cyclists to travel, not only to the stores that are in the area, but then also whether they, and if especially if they use city bus, that they have a safe means to get to the bus stops. So we're at the very beginning of this project, and it's very exciting. So I hope that in the future, we'll be rolling this out, or at least more information about it. Any additional comments or details from anyone?
Yeah, I'd like to chime in. So I do absolutely agree with everything Doug said. But part of what's motivating us to do this now is as Purdue continues to increase enrollment, they are master leasing more and more apartments. And this is kind of one of their forays a little farther out into the county. So I did also just want to thank this opportunity, or take this opportunity to thank the county highway department for looking into sidewalks. I know Stu and his crew have been working on that portion of it, but there is still some more work for the rest of us to coordinate on together. So yeah, still more to come on this, like Doug said.
Hey, anyone else?
Just thank you to the APC team for taking this up swiftly, as we have students who are going to be moving in as early as this weekend, but over the next couple of weeks, and it's a particular public safety issue that we're worried about.
Thank you. Air?
All right. Nope. I think that's, if there's no other questions, Doug, why don't you go on to the Charging the Crossroads Project Award?
Okay. Well, this is a fairly neat project that NDOT is pursuing, and that is establishing a electrical vehicle charging infrastructure network throughout the state. And, it's interesting, especially the catchphrase, charging the crossroads. So they do have a specific web page actually set up for all of this. And they do have some plans actually there that you can actually read. It's very interesting also is that not only are there just plans, but they're also moving forward and actually starting to build the additional charging infrastructure needed for electric vehicles. And late last year, there was a call for projects, and a number of projects were submitted, and I think there's 30 some projects that were actually awarded, and one was awarded here in Tippecanoe County. Specifically, the information, the company that submitted it was actually Tesla, and the location that they are going to install, and I think it's going to be improving and increasing the size, is the electric charging station area they have in the Myers parking lot. So I've seen, it recently increased. Basically, it looks like it doubled in size. So my guess is that it's going to even increase even more. So in hopes to move this more forward, a second round of call for projects will be coming out soon. And looking through the information, the installation of this first round will begin sometime in 2025. So we thought this interesting information would be of interest to this community, or this group, sorry.
All right. Thank you, Doug, for that update, and we'll look forward to that. If there's no other comments on that, we'll go to the federal funding obligation.
And as we usually roll out, we report on the status of our federal funds each month. We have a report for August, and I would like to mention that there is a typo. I just discovered it here before the meeting. It's under HSIP funds for the Emergency Vehicle Preemption Project. Yes, there are more than $391 in federal funds allocated to it. It's actually $183,000. So I suspect that my fingers didn't type the numbers correctly. So I just wanted to point that out first off. So a number of few things I'd like to point out. At the very bottom, we do have some residual 2024 funds that we need to basically obligate by the end of the month. These were awarded to us earlier this year, and basically the deadline is next month to get those obligated, but our goal is to have this done by the end of the month. We are actively working on getting those done. We hope to have the funds for the Soldiers Home Road project obligated next week, and we are making good progress, and I think we'll be able to, hopefully next week as well, obligate the funds for the South 9th Street project. So overall, those are looking very good, that we will obligate all of those funds. Seeing that these are 2025 funds, NDOT did send us their monthly obligation report. And when we started looking at it, their numbers were slightly more than what we show in the tip. And we discovered that the federal sharing agreement for 2025 was updated. And even though it's not much, additional $22,000, it is more money. So we show it as a breakdown by funding category. And we are looking at allocating these additional funds beginning at the Technical Transportation Committee meeting here later this month. So we will be bringing a tip amendment regarding this to you at our next month's meeting. The other point, let me see, is that you see it highlighted in orange under the safety funds. We do have over $500,000 not allocated to projects. So we are anticipating to reach out to the engineers and start thinking how we can use these funds so they are not going to go back. We do have a lot of some time to do this, but our main goal is that we do want to obligate these funds. So that is on our to-do list. So in a snapshot, this is our status. We have not yet obligated any of our 25 funds, especially considering that it's very early in the year. So are there any questions or comments?
All right, thank you, Doug. We will, if not hearing any questions, we'll move on to the NDOT 18-month letting list.
As you can see, the list shows a lot of S's on the left side of the report. That means that the projects are moving forward and progressing. The only project that we could not find any information on was number 15. That was the Institutional Park Road maintenance project at the Veterans Home. It was on a 1026 letting, but that is no longer shown, so we'll have to figure that one out. But if you look at the projects overall, they're moving forward. We have one project coming up on the October bid letting, and that is signal improvements at the McCarty Lane, or a new traffic signal, excuse me, at State Road 26 and McCarty Lane. And then in November, one that I'm excited about is the truss repair and reconstruction of the State Road 225 bridge over the Wabash River. Looking further down, projects 5 and 6 are two local projects. Bridge 527, this is on Old US 231, just north of McCutcheon High School. And then the next phase of Morehouse Road. So we're moving that project forward. So when this goes under construction, there'll be a lot of work out there, but this will address all of the improvements that were proposed along that road. Looking further 9, project 13 is 9th Street. So that is now showing up on the 18-month letting list. Are there any comments or questions that I can answer or help with?
All right. Well, thank you, Doug, and everyone for all those presentations today. That brings us to the other business portion of our agenda. So is there anything from anybody on the call today that would like to bring something up?
Mr. Mayor, if I could,
Yes, Brian, please.
just wanted to extend an invitation to anybody. We are celebrating the award of $10.5 million in additional Low-No funds to City Bus to purchase additional hydrogen fuel cell buses. We're going to have just a small event here on August 26th at our Canal Road facility at 11 o'clock. We have a deputy administrator from the FDA coming, and I believe we've sent out invites to many of the people on the call here, but just wanted to extend out to anybody we might have accidentally missed. So happy that we're getting another 10.5 million and wanted to celebrate a little bit.
All right. Thank you, Brian, for that update and invitation. Excuse me. Anybody else have anything to bring before the board today? Hearing none, let's go into the citizen comment portion of the meeting.
There are currently no comments on Facebook or YouTube, but I can wait for 1 minute and see if any come in.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, today we actually do have comment. We see one person on YouTube says that I'm behind, but a lot of motorcycle accidents happen also because people mow and leave grass in the road. People not looking both ways, cars and motorcycles. So I guess maybe a comment on the crashes.
All
Those are
right.
all the
Well,
comments I see at this time.
okay. Well, if you just make them part of the formal record, then we certainly would appreciate that.
Yep.
All right. Hearing nothing else, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second,
believe-
Larry.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We have a motion and a second. We'll conduct our final roll call vote of the day. Aaron Easter,
Aye.
Tom Murtaugh, did we lose Tom? All right. Gary Schroeder,
Aye.
Stephen Snyder,
Aye.
Larry Leverance,
Aye.
Cindy Murray,
Aye.
Deb Calder. All right. Thank you, everyone. We're adjourned.